Is your world laggy? I'm sure it probably is, at least a little bit if you build literally anything. But in this video, I will be talking to you guys about how to reduce lag, how to prevent lag, and how to avoid lag in your Minecraft world, a friend's world, or a server that you may play on. I will be going pretty in depth about all of these things that you see behind me here, but don't worry, we're not going to be in this world for most of the video. And I will not be covering internet lag or lag with your Xbox or your PlayStation or anything like that. There's a ton of videos on those. They're pretty easy to research, and that is beyond the scope of what I'm talking about. I am talking about actual in-game Minecraft lag. There are a few different types of lag that I'll be talking about in this video. The first and most common is FPS lag. So if you're looking around and it looks super choppy or gritty or just jittery, then that is frame rate loss. You probably won't notice if you're losing frames until you get below about 30 or so, unless you are a PC Master Race snob, in which case 200 FPS is low for you. Now, that is the most common type of lag in Minecraft. Everything that I'm going to show you in this video will increase your FPS simply because there is less things for the game to render and think about in your world. Now, the next most common type of lag is rubber banding. So if you're walking or running or whatever and you teleport backwards or where you used to be, that is rubber banding. That is fairly common on laggy servers. On console, it's kind of hard to implement. You might notice it if you're in the mini games. Now, the next type of lag is also block placement and breaking lag. So if you place a block and it doesn't appear for like half a second, you see the hitbox, but it doesn't render first. That is another type of lag. That also happens when you break a block. And yeah, everything I'm showing you in this video will reduce those three types of lag. There is other types of lag, but those are the three most common ones. So I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch of just basic lag reducing things in your world, and then I will be covering Redstone, because Redstone is a whole nother type of lag. There's just so much to cover. I'm going to be getting to that at the end of the video. So the first thing that you can do in your world is get rid of a ton of item frames, banners, paintings, and armor stands. Those are all entities and they all produce lag. On console, there is a cap for all of these. If you hit your cap, you should probably remove some. They are lovely things. I love using all of these in my world, and I'm sure you do too, because they're pretty awesome. But having these in your world, especially in large quantities, does produce a little bit but significant amount of lag for each one. And yeah, just go around your world. If you're experiencing some frame loss, get rid of some item frames. Even if you have like a storage system of a whole bunch of item frames, maybe put down signs, because signs don't really produce lag. Okay, this next one should be fairly obvious. If you have 1,000 cows in a single area, which just looks absolutely disgusting and is very unsanitary, don't have 1,000 cows in one area. There's a lot of entities there, there's a lot of pathfinding, a lot of noise, and a lot of collisions taking place. That is very laggy for the server, and it doesn't just go for cows, it goes for all animals, all mobs. If you have, for instance, a villager beater, maybe have an overflow protection so that it turns off once you get like 20 villagers or something. If you have a mob farm, turn it off when you're not using it. If you do want to have a whole bunch of animal farms, space them out 300 blocks away. That way they are unrendered when you're at one, and also you will not run into mob cap issues. You will be able to get the full mob cap of cows in one area, and then you can go 300 blocks away and get the full mob cap of cows again. That is how you get around the mob cap on console. On PC, you don't really need to worry about it. Just make sure you space out all your tons of mobs in the world, otherwise you will get lag. Did you know that chests actually do produce lag in your world? Empty chests or full chests will produce lag. You won't really start to notice it until you get an amazingly huge storage system, and I'm talking about 1,000 chests until you start to notice some frame loss. So clean up your base. You don't need 500 unsorted, unorganized chests, because that's just sloppy. Start using shulker boxes instead and storing those in chests, and that'll really help you out if you are experiencing a little bit of frame loss. Again, you need a ton of chests for this to count, but still it is something to keep in mind. When water is flowing to new blocks, it will produce lag in your world. So if you have a flushing mob farm, that's automatically going to produce lag just because it's a mob farm. But even if it wasn't spawning mobs, just the flowing water being extended and then retracted, recycle will produce lag. If you're using Optifine on PC, then good job. That's going to reduce lag from everything, but also that will pretty much eliminate lag from water updates. So if your water is flowing to new blocks and in new formations, then it will be producing lag. But if your water is stagnant, it's not changing its formation at all, if it's flowing water or a water source block, as long as it's not flowing two new blocks, it will not be producing lag. I hope that that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, if you have a stupid looking fountain like this where it's producing water updates, turn it off. I'm sorry if you built one that looks like this. This is just something stupid that I made for a demonstration. This one might surprise you a little bit, but moats and minecarts of any type will produce a little bit of lag, FPS lag in your world. So if you have towers of minecarts in your world, that will produce lag. If you have a whole bunch of minecart elevators, maybe use ladders. As sad as that is, nobody likes ladders, but it is a good alternative. No, it's not. It's a terrible alternative, but just reduce the number of minecarts. Minecart chests, minecart furnaces, minecart hoppers especially, and all that stuff in your world, and you'll see a little bit of a decrease in lag. Alrighty, that is all of the basic lag reducing things that you can do in your world. Following all of the previous steps will provide you with a significant boost in performance in your world. Now onto redstone. There's quite a bit to cover, so let's get right to it. A great rule of thumb for just every single redstone contraption ever is to torch spam it. Always put down torches in your redstone so that no creepers spawn and blow you and your redstone up when you go to check on it. Just always a good rule of thumb. But there's also another lag reducing property to putting torches in your redstone contraptions, because every single redstone component produces a little bit of a lighting update. So you can see these redstone torches here. When they turn off, it goes dark, and when they turn back on, it goes light again. That is a lighting update, and that will produce lag in your world. You can see that a little bit more significantly here with this glowstone being pushed. Yeah, it's bad. So make sure you put down some torches just all around. Just, torch spam it. There is no real way to do it. Just torch spam. Make sure you put torches everywhere that you can. And as you can see now, none of these redstone torches are producing lighting updates because they produce a very low light level, and it's getting flushed out by these torches here. Okay, this is very, very obvious, but do not have useless, unnecessary redstone clocks going in your world. They do produce lag, even if they are let up because of all the redstone component updates and block updates that redstone produces. Redstone in general is just very laggy, so make sure that your clocks are only activated when it's absolutely necessary for the machine to function. This is a bit tedious and hard to do sometimes, but it is well worth it for your world. Most of you who are watching this video probably like to build huge, amazing, super efficient farms for crops, mobs, all these different things, but they produce lag. If you build a bunch of them in one area, you're probably gone through all of these steps, but you still have a laggy area. The best thing that you can do is to space out your big farms, your big redstone contraptions. Put your mob farms far away from each other and put your crop farms in one area. Basically, don't have a super cluster of redstone. That will definitely hurt the world in terms of lag. Whenever you have a mob farm, turn it off when you're not using it so that the redstone doesn't get broken when you unload the chunks. That's just a general rule of thumb, but also it's just good. It's just good practice, and it will reduce your lag. Another thing to make sure that you do is to have an automatic off switch for when your storage system for your farm is full. So if you're farming like, melons and pumpkins, whenever your storage for your melons and pumpkins fills up, make sure that that automatically turns off your your crop farm, so that it isn't still harvesting and wasting the crops, because having items laying on the ground everywhere produces a ton of lag. Hoppers produce a ton of lag in your world. They are the single most laggiest block in all of Minecraft. So if you absolutely need all of the hoppers that you have in the world, put at least a furnace on top of all of them, if not a dropper. Droppers are the best thing that you can put on top of a hopper to reduce the lag from them. The reason why hoppers produce lag is because they're constantly searching the block above them for items to pick up, such as when you throw an item above a hopper, it picks it up instantly. That is what all of these hoppers here are doing. So if you have a huge storage system or a bunch of item transportation lines in your world, consider switching some of the item transportation lines over to water streams. That is quite a bit better for the server. And also, if you have just any unnecessary hoppers, look into ways that you can reduce the amount of hoppers in your world, such as reducing this entire hopper line here to just a single hopper. Another note, if you put a hopper on top of another hopper, the one on the bottom will not be searching for items above it. So that means that all of the hoppers that you have in your storage system behind your chest aren't really producing that much lag. Alrighty, that is all of my tips and tricks to reduce lag in your world. To recap, make sure that you reduce the number of entities in your world, such as animals, mobs, item frames, paintings, armor stands, banners, minecarts, and boats. Reduce the number of chests in your world. Make sure that there's not a whole bunch of water updates happening. Light up all of your redstone contraptions so there's not a whole bunch of lighting updates. No unnecessary redstone clocks. No hoppers without droppers on top of them. That is a big thing. Definitely do that one. And make sure that your farms automatically turn off when they are full on storage or when not in full use. Anyway, that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on notifications if you are a subscriber. And this is actually kind of fun to watch. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And then there was silence. That is my foot.